It's a great pleasure to welcome Mr. Stone He, who is the president of Huawei Cloud in Southern Africa. Met him quite a few times. Someone who's very passionate and a mission in mind to get that cloud infrastructure up and running across Southern Africa. Firstly, it's great to see you again, Stone. How have you been?
Yes, I'm very good. Thank you for the invitation. It's so glad to meet you again. Thank you so much.
No, it's great to see you. Well, listen, for the viewers who may not be aware, could you please expand on how Huawei Cloud is supporting e-commerce businesses in South Africa? Because it's something that you're very passionate about, and that the rollout, and we can just see this incredible growth of e-commerce happening in South Africa and on the continent. How are you supporting these businesses?
Okay. So, for the e-commerce, I think it is a very wild ecosystem. It includes many different players to jointly supporting this whole e-commerce industry to going forward. I think for Huawei Cloud in Africa region, especially in Southern Africa region, we focus on several different capability. Firstly, we support a lot of payment fintech company to improve the payment efficiency. And secondly, we also cooperate with a few logistic company. So they are aiming to improve the quality for the delivery, how fast and quickly to deliver what you order from the website and to your home, to your apartment. And the third one, we also cooperate with several large e-commerce player. So they use their cloud technology to improve the capability of the whole e-commerce platform. And we also aiming to several new technology development with the partner and customers. Firstly, we try to provide a very stable and low-cost platform. And secondly, we use the big data analyze technology and also the low latency technology in supporting the new business model, like the live stream e-commerce business model. And the third one, I think we also cooperate with many ecosystem player from China mainland, from Asia, and it brings a lot of new business model to Africa region. So this is the few things, I think, for Huawei Cloud supporting the whole e-commerce system in Southern Africa region.
That's quite interesting because it's the entire ecosystem that you talk about, and also the live streaming as well, which is such an important part of e-commerce. And I think it's going to be something that's going to grow tremendously over the next few years. Now, while e-commerce revenue and growth rates have historically risen year on year, this wasn't necessarily true for 2022, which is it's kind of an interesting year. I'm still trying to figure out all these reasons. Could you unpack those reasons for us and why this was the case in 2022? What did you see?
I think in the past few years, the whole globally this suffering a very bad COVID influence, and from different country, from different region, they have a different result. I think for the globally, we can see the e-commerce is increasing from the revenue, is getting slowly, and some region is getting down. But actually in Africa region, in South Africa region, this number increased a lot. I think in the next few years, it will continually to increase in Africa and the South Africa region. The few region, I think the first one, I think for the pandemic finished, the people start to do a lot of business and shopping offline. And secondly, I think for the economic pressure in different country, the people feel concerned to spending more money. So that's, I think, the major reason for this number going down. The third one, I think for the e-commerce in the past 10 years, is high speed increasing for the e-commerce business. And most of the players still keeping a very traditional model to do the business. and the competition for this e-commerce player is very tough. So I think this is the field region
Yes.
for the past 1 years. The revenue from the e-commerce, the total GMV from the e-commerce industry is going down, and somewhere even has a huge pressure to increasing. But to be honestly, in Africa region, in South Africa region, we saw the number is very exciting. It still keeps very high speed increasing. So that is quite different with the other region.
Okay. No, that's interesting. Well, look, in times like this, it's really important to prioritize innovation and standing out from the crowd and doing things differently. Do you have any examples of how e-commerce has been used in interesting and unique ways on the Huawei platform? I mean, with your customers, what are they doing? What is the innovation happening on the Huawei platform?
Okay. So I think we know the e-commerce model is very simple and easy. The people through the laptop, through the smartphone, and to order what they want. Okay. But most of the time, they see the picture, they see the specification. Okay, but I think it's some new business model based on the new technology, like the live stream model. It's become a major way for the e-commerce players. In China mainland, in the past 2 years, I think the marketing share for the live stream is over 20%, and some new player join
Wow.
with this new technology, new business model, and they're getting very successful. And the live stream model is not just to selling the cargo, the product, and you can selling everything you think is possible. Your knowledge, your experience, even the beautiful scenery from your hometown, and the agriculture, the traveling, everything's become possible through the live stream. And the people will give you a live introduction about the solution, about the product. So this is, I think, is quite new for the whole e-commerce business model. The secondly, I think many e-commerce players is start to manage the cost. How to build a cloud-native platform based on the very transparent cost model, and the cost will be easy to manage and to going down. So I think for this cloud platform is possible to give a scalability business model. If you want to use more, you pay more. If you don't, you release the resource and you pay less. So this is quite easy for the e-commerce player to manage in different time period. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold, but they don't need to pay everything once off. The third one, I think there's many new intelligent way from the marketing, and the agile development model is possible. They can use a different new technology like the big data, like the AI analyze, and to aiming to your marketing research, and then it will be easy for the e-commerce player to aiming to the right group person to push the right solution and to push the right product to these kinds of people. And this also saving a lot of cost and saving a time. I think the last one, I think for the high quality service. The e-commerce, most of the business is online model, but actually the supporting, especially for the technical supporting, they need a very quickly response, timely, even 7/24 hours. So this is the few things I think for Huawei Cloud supporting our customers to build a very intelligent and agile model to doing the business in the future.
Yeah, those are great examples you mentioned, and I think that the live streaming adds that personalization, right, to e-commerce, and you really become, you're giving your customer that personalization of doing those products live streamed, and it's amazing. I've been watching some of those documentaries on how e-commerce is done in Asia, for example, and it works. I mean, it's certainly a very powerful tool to use. Do you have any advice for businesses that want to stand out from the crowd and want to continue to grow their online business? You know, they've started, they've got the platform, they're going somewhere, but you know, sometimes you reach a plateau. How do you grow that online sales, even during tough economic times? Because let's be honest, I mean, economic times are tough globally, but how do you grow your business through tough times?
Okay. I think Africa with a very huge marketing space. And to be honestly, the e-commerce competition in Southern Africa is not really strong in compared with other regions. So the marketing is big enough, and it's a lot of new players join this marketing. And actually, I think everybody will find the position for this whole marketing. But if you want to grow in fast, if you want to be the outstanding one, I think the customer experience is always the top one to be considering and to be managed. So how quickly you could respond for the payment from the end user through the e-commerce platform, and quickly and safety. And secondly, how to manage the delivery quality. Sometimes it needs 2 weeks, but this is a very bad experience. I think the people want to buy something, and after 1 or 2 days, they want to receive and deliver to the door. So the logistic capability, how to integrate to your e-commerce platform. And the third one, I think the security become more and more important. More and more business will happen, and the people spending more money through the e-commerce platform. How could you make sure the security all the time? If the people are not satisfied with something they want to buy, they want to refund, they want to deliver it back to you, how quickly they can do that? So this experience is an end-to-end management, and it's not just one single point. How to manage all these points, integrate this capability to to your e-commerce platform, it's become a huge challenge, and it's very different. It will make you very different with the others. Okay, so the second one, I think the new technology is not difficult to access, and how to use that new technology to become your secret weapon, to aiming to your marketing insight and to looking for your customer, to acquire your customers through this new technology. So I think your in-house technical capability will become important. How to build this technical teams, and aiming to how to use this new technology and to design your weapon to aiming to the marketing development. And the third one, I think this is a lot of success business model from the globally. For Africa region, I think we need to find the shortcut to catch up to the futures. We don't need to learn from the field case. So we have many success cases from Europe, from Middle East, from Asia, from China. How to learn this success case from cooperate with this different ecosystem partner and link with South Africa. So that's become very important to find a shortcut to the futures. So I think this is the few success case I want to share, and how to make your business outstanding with the others.
Yeah, and those are great examples. And you touched on the customer experience part, and for me, it's such an important part when you're buying something online and you send an email for a query, and then it takes forever for them to reply back to your email. That fast timing is so important. It's part of the customer experience. And if you get it wrong, people won't come back shopping on your e-commerce platform again. So very, very important points you've raised there. Now, one of the most exciting parts of the rise of e-commerce has been how anyone could build a successful online store. How do Huawei solutions cater to businesses of all sizes? Because, you'll often find, small businesses that say, oh, e-commerce, it's too expensive, we can't afford it. And that's not the case.
Yeah. You mentioned about the small media player, and even for the individual person, if they want to start the e-commerce business, I think that this is a really challenge for them. You can see in Africa region, in South Africa region, for this few e-commerce player, actually they are played their business very separately. They are not really built an open platform like Amazon, like Alibaba, like TikTok. So that now I think in this marketing, the e-commerce player is trying to build their own platform, but this platform is closed. It's not open. It's not open. So that is bring a quite difference. It's make it very difficult for the small media and the individual or this player. They don't have such big money and they don't have this technology to build this platform. They want to access to some open platform and to open an online store to start their e-commerce business. This model is quite success in US, in Euro, and in China. But in Africa region, this is really challenging for this small media player and even the individual person. I think for Huawei, we try to cooperate with some local large size e-commerce player. We want to help them to build an open platform, an open system. So that open platform will be accessed by everybody, easy to build your own online shopping. Okay, so this is I think is also Huawei mission for us to in this region. I gave an example like the TikTok is quite new player, and they build a very open platform, and everybody become a live stream player, and they can easy to build online shopping, to design your personality, and then to selling your product through this platform. So I think that this is we still have a long way to go in Africa region.
Okay. No, it's interesting, very interesting thoughts there. But the reality is that e-commerce has never been more accessible and more affordable to get into the market. Whatever size you are, the technology has been democratized and it's accessible to everyone. And that's the important part of e-commerce. You've been in the business for a long time, Mr. He, and cloud and e-commerce. You've seen some very interesting things in your career. Where do you see this going? I mean, do you have any predictions for us that you can make about how e-commerce, for example, will evolve in the coming months and years? Where do you see it on the African continent and in South Africa? I, for example, see massive opportunity because half of the continent is not yet connected to the internet, and there are millions of people coming onto the internet for the first time, and I just see so much opportunity on the continent. What do you see? What are your predictions?
I think for South Africa, we still have a lot of job need to do to focus on the connection. First, focus on the connection. I think from the metro to the rural to the town outside the city, how possibly to connect it more and more people. And everybody in this country, everybody in this region will easy to access to the 4G, even to the 5G network. So that's still, I think, a long way need to go. And secondly, I think in this marketing, I know in Africa is a huge percentage for the young people. And they try to use new technology. They want to access you to the whole, to the new world. And a lot of investors carry the fund, the technology, the new business model will come to Africa, will come to South Africa. Okay, so that will become very hot region for this people to find a new opportunity. And the third one, I think, for the payment and the logistic, these are two things. It's still quite important to become the two major player for the whole e-commerce industry. We see the payments. We only have a few ways to do that in South Africa, but actually we have many different ways to do that to make it very safe and more efficiency. And the logistic, you see, for the international logistic is okay, but for the dynamic logistic, how possibly from the town to the euro, and to really build the door-to-door deliveries model. So this is a logistic. It will still be the challenge for this whole industry. And also we know how possibly to link the local e-commerce player to the global different channel to collect the best goods and products from the outside to South Africa. And also we have many local, very good local agriculture products and many other products is possible to deliver out, to selling out. So this is, I think, is quite important. It's quite important for the whole e-commerce system. And also we know this is the new technology, the new business model, every success case, how to make it possible to link to South Africa, to link to Africa region. So this is, I think, we need a different ecosystem to jointly to build this strong platform. I think the technology is just one part to support the e-commerce. There's still many other things to be considered. So this is, I think, for Huawei, we want to support the local strong player to build a very strong platform before the other player walk in, before the other technology come in. So this is, I think, we need to build our own advantage in Africa region and to catch up to the futures.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Stone He, the president of Huawei Cloud in Southern Africa. Thank you for sharing those insights with us, and you've certainly given me quite a bit of optimism where it comes to e-commerce. We're certainly heading in the right direction, and you've left me with some really interesting thoughts in my mind, and you've offered some great advice to people watching this right now who are either in the e-commerce business, who are considering getting into e-commerce. Thank you very much for your insights, Mr. He.
Thank you. Thank you, Aki. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's see sometime to have a coffee.
Thank you.
Thank you.